Listen, you are not alone. With God, we are stronger together. I'm glad you're along with us this morning. I'm Rob. This is Liz. And the other gentleman that is joining us is Kirk Cameron in the flesh, baby.
Hey, hey, baby.
I
Great
am
to
totally
be with you guys.
geeking out right now. Mike Seaver, what?
All
Oh,
right.
well, it is so great to be with you guys. Thanks for having me on his radio.
Well, first thing I want to know is you and Candace Cameron Bure is your, of course, brother and sister. But I'm trying to see if everything is okay after you ran over her on a go-kart. Is she okay? And is your relationship with her repaired now?
It almost sounded like you were saying that I ran over her on a goat.
Yeah, on a goat. I was getting close to
Not
that.
this time.
I don't remember that. She's doing okay. Thank God. We were filming an episode of a TV show I was doing called One on One, and I had these great one-on-one heartfelt conversations, and then it's a one-on-one competition with go-kart racing, and I'm telling you, it really was her fault because she tried to get in the lead, and I was going to pass her on the inside lane, and she cut me off, and then my car went right up. I T-boned her and went up over the top, and it was really scary. Everything just screeched to a halt, and we rushed to the emergency room.
Oh.
Her wedding finger had been smashed, and so it was pinching her finger. We thought maybe something had broken, but they were able to get the ring off. Nothing was broken. She was fine, and the most embarrassing part of the whole thing was after I apologized for sending my sister to the emergency room, I asked her if we could finish the episode there in the hospital bed.
Just like a brother.
I mean, just like a brother and like a producer. The show's got
True.
Oh my goodness. So it all worked out well. And and Candace is fine. In fact, we've been talking to each other an extra amount because of our Hope Rising event. And so I would love to have her come on his radio sometime. Has she ever been on the program?
Yes, she's been on once. We've had her on, a couple of times. And one where we went to New York City to spend some time with her right before she was going to go on with The View. So that was good. Hey, by the way, since we're on that topic of your sister, what's this whole thing with you and a throwdown with a workout?
I mean, you heard about that. So,
yeah.
Well, so I have everywhere I go, I hear people say, like, they don't say, hey, you're Kirk Cameron from Growing Pains. They say, hey, is it true you're DJ Tanner's brother? That's my new claim to fame now. And people say, oh, I love your sister. She's adorable. And I love her workouts, her online workouts. She's always staying so fit. And I thought, you know what? She's like bouncing on a yoga ball. She's just sort of sitting on a yoga mat, and she's doing these little exercises with a rubber band strapped around her knees. And I was like, you know what? If you want to see some real workouts, you got to just hang with me for a while. Mm-hmm. And so I just threw down this challenge for her to try to top a real manly man's workout. And so we've been having some fun going back and forth. And the coronavirus kind of put a halt to that for a little while, but we need to fire it back up again.
Yeah, you can do it virtually, and I think you need to do her workout and see just how hard she's doing it.
No, it's painless.
Well, you can tell they're pretty painless, right, Rob? I mean,
come on.
They're
I got to get Candace on the phone.
Because Kirk is doing CrossFit stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. That's right. I mean, it's a whole different level.
Wow. Well, I heard that you've been talking to each other a lot more now because of coronavirus and the social distancing. So what are those conversations like?
Well, they've been Zoom conversations, Skype conversations, FaceTime, all that. And it's really been our whole family. Maybe you guys have experienced this too, but family members are playing Yahtzee and Trivial Pursuit together over FaceTime, right? Like, how fun is this? You get like 30 people on your laptop screen. And I feel like, wait a minute, why aren't we doing this all the time? This is such a great thing. We should do this every Sunday night. We should just get together with grandma and grandpa and everybody. And so in some ways, I think we've discovered new ways of connecting with each other. And it's been really great.
Mm. Your baby girl is 21 years old, Anna.
Wow.
That's right. And now if she were here, Rob, she would correct you and say it's Anna.
Anna.
And
yes.
Yeah. In fact, we spelled her name Ahna. sort of a phonetic spelling so that people would say Anna and not Anna. I mean, I like both of the names, but we really liked Anna. She turned 21 this year, and my sons have their birthday on the same day. 2 days ago, they just turned 17 and 20. So I can't believe it. My kids, 6 of them, are now all young adults. I mean, they're 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, and 17.
And you've been spending so much time, like the backyard fire pit kind of thing, and
that's right.
Doing the backyard camping, and even up in the hills.
That's right. We've had so much fun together, and all of the funny quarantine family memes are been cracking me up. My kids have been sending those to me. I saw one where a guy said, this quarantine has really been great for me and my wife. We've finally gotten caught up on the last 15 years of everything that I've done wrong in our marriage. And one lady said something like, hey, please send your thoughts and prayers to my 16-year-old daughter. I asked her to do something.
And the struggle is real.
I know. Do you know, somebody told me that in China, the applications for divorce have increased since they released the social distancing ban.
Really?
Yeah, like this is a real thing. And I mean, some of it's funny, but you also think of, how awful it must be for couples where, they really don't get along, where they don't have the forgiveness and compassion that, that we try to emphasize in a Christian concept of marriage. And, people who are in domestic abuse situations or just really nasty, abusive people, and now they're stuck in the house all day long with them. These can be really trying times on many levels that we don't even think about.
Well, you have a huge ministry to help out with that as well.
Well, I mean, marriage has always been important to us. And so not just movies, but Chelsea teaches a class at our local church to moms and wives about marriage and family. And then we even have an online course that you can take called The Heart of Family, where Chelsea and I are sitting at our kitchen table and we're talking all about marriage and parenting. So that would be a great thing for people to check out, especially if they're struggling with relationships in their home.
Yeah, my daughter just got married in our backyard during social distancing.
Oh, wow. How great is that?
It was beautiful. It ended up to be beautiful.
Was it stressful, or did you like that?
What now?
Was that stressful to the max, or was that actually really special?
Well, she's a nurse, and so she had to be tested for COVID-19 the Monday before she was going to get married that Saturday. And the results didn't come in until Saturday. So yes, very, very stressful. And then it was stressful. Like, woo, God's timing. That's all it was the entire time.
How did you manage pictures and all of that? Because the reason I ask is because my daughter, Isabella, is scheduled to get married in May. And we're not sure what to do because, with the social distancing, how's everyone going to take pictures? You can't even hug your family members at the wedding. So How did you work all that out?
So it was the end of March, and so some of the tighter restrictions weren't quite on. So once she was tested and found negative, we were allowed to have 10 or fewer people. We had 9. Her husband's father was the minister, and so that helped, in part of the situation. And then a photographer came and stayed 6 feet away from us the entire time.
So it was a teeny tiny wedding.
Yeah,
9 people. Yeah.
Okay.
But so, those are some of the things that everybody's dealing with. But what I was going to say is, I think it's so important for newlyweds, for those that are thinking about getting married, to go through some of this counseling that you're talking about in some of these classes.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Taking a class and a course on marriage before you get married or when you're newly married is so important. So many people wait until there's trouble. And when there's trouble in your marriage, it's hard to fix things when they've been damaged badly. It's so much, I think it's so wise if you can. It's never too late. It's never too late to turn to God. It's never too late for him to heal your marriage and to help you work through issues of forgiveness. But if you have the opportunity, start off on the right foot. Learn about all of these things before you make tragic mistakes.
Give yourself a good basis.
Speaking of Bella, wasn't that a Christmas proposal?
It was a Christmas proposal.
Yeah.
It was so, and we were in on the surprise. So her fiance came and asked my wife and I if we could have lunch with him, and he told us his intentions, asked for our blessing. We gave him the blessing to ask Bella to marry him. And on Christmas morning, she thought he was still in Texas. Bella had come home to California, and that morning we all went out on the back porch to take a family Christmas photo. And in the middle of us standing on the steps, her favorite song started to play on a speaker. And she said, Luke, why are you playing my song with Justin? That's Justin and my favorite song. And then all of us sort of just abandoned her on the steps, and the door behind her opened up, and out steps Justin with a jewelry box. He gets down on one knee and asks her to marry him. It was perfect.
Wow.
I'm getting teary-eyed.
How did he
Yeah,
ask
it's pretty
you?
great.
How did he ask you for her hand in marriage?
Well, we just, like I said, we went and had lunch together, and he said, you know, I really love your daughter. I've grown to love her, and I want to spend the rest of my life with her. I want to protect her and provide for her, and my mom and dad have taught me, you know, the importance of God first in our marriage and in my heart. And I'd like for you to give me your blessing on asking her to be my wife. And boy, that was a big moment, Rob. That was a big moment. I have not had that happen before. This was the first time, but we couldn't have been happier. We just love him, and we think he's such a great guy. We are so thankful. He is an answer to parents' prayers. 20 years of prayers were answered that day.
That's good. Wow. Kirk Cameron spending time with us this morning on his radio. Thank you, Kirk.
Oh, my pleasure. You know, I'm going to have to send you a picture of that proposal if you don't have it. I'm not sure if Bella posted it online, but I've got a great picture that I can send you.
Definitely. We would love it.
Okay. That sounds great. Well, so good to talk to you both. Thanks for all that you do on his radio. You're always encouraging us, always pointing us to our hope and our healer. And I thank God for you.
His Morning Crew.
I don't know if you received the stimulus check. Some people have to help them, and businesses are getting those kind of checks as well. Shake Shack, I don't know if you've heard what just happened, but Shake Shack, as soon as they got that small business stimulus, they returned it.
What?
$10 million. $10 million for Shake Shack. And this is basically what they said. They just want other local small businesses to benefit from the Paycheck protection program right now. So that's what they did at Shake Shack. Yeah, to help out other small businesses.
Now, see, I wouldn't have thought that Shake Shack would be a small business. You know, I mean, they're quite a large chain. Not here. We don't have them, unfortunately, because I love them. But yeah. Huh.
You love them.
I do love them.
Uh-huh.
It's a nice burger and nice ice cream.
So, aren't they in New York City? Because you and Taylor took a trip there. Taylor's her daughter, by the way.
Yeah, we did. Went to Shake Shack. We actually went to Broadway. Went to see a Broadway show. On the way back, the shopkeepers go out and wash the sidewalks with soap and water. So when people are coming off Broadway shows, they walk right through that soapy water. We had gone to Shake Shack. I had like a soft serve ice cream and a Diet Coke. Hit the soapy water, fell straight down on my hiney, but I held on to the ice cream. Diet Coke went flying. I don't know who it hit, but I held on to the Shake Shack ice cream.
Priorities, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All before social distancing, of course.
Oh, years ago.
Years ago.
His Morning Crew.
We're social distance. And I know you can't see Liz at the moment when you're listening to the radio, but I must tell you, Liz has got herself one of those fancy little backgrounds on Zoom. I don't know if you've seen it, but I haven't seen this one. That looks like a Pixar scene. I just can't quite make out where you are.
I am in, I guess, the living room from the movie Up, which I haven't seen yet.
Wait a minute. Yeah, you have not seen Up?
I haven't, because I know that I'm a crier anyway at movies. So I know going in that I'm going to cry. And I think that's why I haven't seen it, but
they get that part done quick.
Do that? Okay.
Yeah, they get that part, I would say, in the first 10 minutes of the film.
Okay.
And then you're happy the rest of the time.
Well, I hope so, because during social distancing, even though it'll probably be a good cry, but yeah, this is a Pixar Zoom background, a virtual background, and you can get it for free. I didn't spend a dime on this.
No, for real, because I got the boring ones. You know, the one at the beach, and then there's another one of, oh, I can't remember all of them. Oh, there's a bridge. Is that the Golden Gate?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's the Golden Gate, there's grass, I think, things like that. But you can get from Finding Dory.
No way. Oh,
Yeah, the
she just threw it up on the
yeah.
screen. Hold
But
on.
you can get like Toy Story, and you can get all like a lot of the Pixar films, Cars. And when you go into your next Zoom meeting, and I did this yesterday,
You did.
I had the Finding Dory when we had our little powwow, but it was pretty cool because everybody's like, "Oh, I love that!" It's just something different, and Pixar is letting you get them for absolutely free.
How many do you know?
I think there's maybe 13 because you can get The Incredibles, you get The Mansion, which I didn't realize it was from The Incredibles too. So I don't know if you've seen that movie,
I only saw
but
the first one.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow. Okay. All for your little Zoom background.
Yeah, the next Zoom meeting that you have, maybe later on this morning, it only takes a second to download these puppies, and there you go, and they don't cost you anything.
His morning crew.
There's an Uber driver that is awesome because they're in Tennessee. They're still picking up because there's some healthcare workers that need to get back and forth to their jobs. So she picked up a nurse who was like, I am so hungry. And they started having this conversation. The nurse said she worked like a 12, 13-hour shift, didn't have a bite to eat, didn't have time to stop. She's been working with COVID patients. And so this Uber driver, those wheels started rolling, and not the ones on the car, the ones in the brain. She decided, okay, I'm going to get a GoFundMe page. She raised enough money to buy the healthcare workers at that hospital food for a couple of days. And then it started growing. So far, she's got $12,000, and she has been able to deliver meals to healthcare workers in Memphis, Tennessee for 27 days.
Yeah, and she did. She started this. She had $12,000 like last Thursday. So it could
Yes.
even be a little bit more right now. So she's still feeding people. An Uber driver. She's like, I want to help out, and this is how I'm going to do it.
She took that little seed and she watered it. She let it grow, and look what she's doing. 27 days.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
There is a 99-year-old guy. Actually, he's 100 now. But when all of this started, he was 99 years old. He's a World War II veteran. His name is Tom, and he has been raising money for charity. So how does a 99, 100-year-old guy do this? He walks laps in his garden.
Oh, he does.
Yeah. So I remember doing this when I was a kid, like for the March of Dimes and that kind of thing, that you would get sponsored for each mile. So I think it might work about the same way. But he wanted to do 100 laps in his garden by the time he turned 100. He has raised over 22 million pounds, which is what, $27 million or something like that?
27.1, 27.2.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cash.
Yeah, he only wanted to try to, I think, raise $1,000, and he's giving it to healthcare workers, funding some of their resources. But this guy, it's awesome.
99 years old, laps in the garden, over $27 million raised.
And he's the cutest thing ever.
Just goes to tell you, huh?
Yeah.
Simplest thing. The guy's walking in his garden, and he raises that kind of cash. to help
Rob and
people.
Liz.
His morning crew.
Stimulus checks are starting to come out for some people.
Yep.
Some have gotten them, some haven't. Jasmine got hers.
What'd she do?
$1,200. $1,200. Here's what she decided to do with her stimulus check. I don't know about you if you got yours, but she decided she was going to pay it forward, meaning she's not spending a dime of that stuff on her own. And here's what she has to say about it.
The store people were asking me questions, and they was like, "You're buying all this with your stimulus check?" And I was like, "Yeah." They was like, "Why?" I was like, "Because people need help. We have to help each other."
Yeah, she spent money on food, handed it out to people near the Wayside Mission on Friday afternoon, which is a homeless mission in the area where she lives. She also owns like a food truck and is looking for ways to feed more homeless people in the area during this time. That's what she's doing with her stimulus money.
And she runs a home for victims of domestic violence or something like that as well. So that is what her entire life is, just giving back.
Something, giving back just like that. Absolutely amazing that she's going to do that. And she has been doing that with that stimulus check.